I lost my son to the calamity.
The three Seed Seers are all together.
Some say you couldn't take a step without stumbling over a body.
Here we go. See what they got to say. Hello?
Our forebears were once strangers in the Twelveswood. Fearful of the Green Wrath, they hid themselves in the dark recesses of the earth. Yet they dreamed of basking in the dappled sunlight of the forest. Through great effort, they proved their worth to the elementals, and were granted a place beneath the boughs. So it was that Gridania was born, some 5 centuries ago.
500-year-old nation, not bad.
Working hand in hand, the Hyur and the Elysian settlers sowed the seeds of our civilization, and soon they were joined by folk of all races.
I can kind of see that right here. Put them right in the dead center.
So nourished by the waters of unity, and blessed by the light of the matron, Gridania flourished into the great nation it is today.
Do you see the Gridanian standard? There, hanging behind the Elder Seed Seer. The entwined serpents represent the unity between Hyur and Elysian. An elegant symbol, do you not agree?
Guessing that's for conjurers right there, for healers. Especially with the twin snakes there. Can't remember what that term is called.
In accordance with the will of the elementals, we have embraced a life of peace. Alas, our neighbors have not always sought the same for themselves, nor for us.
Oh?
Though we Gridanians have no love for war, we have still less for those who would threaten our way of life. Ever have we fought to protect the sanctity of the Twelveswood. When the Garlean Empire brought its war of conquest to Eorzea, we rallied under the noble standard of the Twin Adder that we might push back the encroaching darkness. And it was we who prepared the ground for the reformation of the Eorzean Alliance, that all the peoples of this realm might stand united against the common threat.
Oh? Remember right from the... from the scene earlier, it looked like it was the older guy, Louis Swan, that had done that mess.
"5 years ago, the Alliance met the armies of the Empire upon the fields of Cartano. It would prove the bloodiest battle in recent memory. Countless Gridanian lives were lost. As Supreme Commander of the Order of the Twin Adder, ever shall I bear the weight of our people's sacrifice."
Yeah, as the commander, you have to take responsibility.
Alas, their loss was not the only tragedy to befall us that day, for soon came the calamity. The scars borne by our forest are a constant reminder of its violence. Our lives have been irrevocably changed, each waking hour a struggle to survive. Driven to desperation, some among us have strayed from the path of righteousness, resorting to banditry, poaching, and other unconscionable deeds. To compound our woes, the Ixal have returned in force, emboldened by our suffering. They test our defenses nigh without cease, and prey upon the vulnerable, so beleaguered from within and without, it is of little wonder that our unity now falters. Dark times are upon us.
Time was a man could walk
pox
the
on that
high
bloody
roads without
Ixal.
fear.
On this day, 5 years ago, countless Eorzeans laid down their lives that we might behold another dawn. Please join with me in
Jesus
honoring
Christ, she
their
looks
memory.
creepy. Ooh.
And how do you propose to honor the memory of those you cannot remember, pray tell?
Sheesh. Snotty little girl.
The destruction wrought by the calamity was indiscriminate. It dealt death to Eorzean and Garlean alike. Yet while we have labored to rebuild our homes, to rebuild our lives, the Empire has set about raising steel fortresses here in the Twelveswood.
And the green rat didn't affect them. Nice to know.
Let none be mistaken. The Garleans remain the greatest threat to our survival. If we are to stand against them, we must remember what it is to be united. Our many troubles blind us to the woes of our fellow man. Thence is harmony lost. Yet harmony is the founding principle of Gridania. We are gathered here to honor the fallen.
Already?
Let them be honored not only in word and thought, but through concerted action. I bid you join hands with me once more beneath the Twin Adder's standard.
Okay.
And together, let us heal the forest's wounds, that our progeny might live in harmony beneath these ancient boughs. For serenity, purity, and sanctity, we must think of the children.
Woods will be done.
It's up to us to protect the
For
forest.
the elementals!
Little sassy smile. There we go.
If you'll permit me, Alfie no,
No, I don't permit you. Sound nasal.
and my sister, Alize, at your service. I saw at a glance that you were a fellow traveler. You might call us students of history, sampling the realm's remembrances in pursuit of enlightenment.
I don't like that voice. The Gridanians are fortunate enough to have to contend with two beast tribes. The Ixal are unquestionably the most troublesome, being of naturally warlike disposition, and are wont to summon their bloodthirsty primal Garuda. The Sylphs, on contrast, are peaceful by nature, being mischievous rather than malevolent, and have long been on friendly terms with Gridanians until recently, at least. Last, they have grown aloof, a change observed with roughly the same time they summoned their primal Ramu. Gridanians have no love for war, and they consider open conflict the last resort. Though they clash with the Ixal ever more regularly, you may be assured that they do so in self-defense. As for the Sylphs, they are yet bound by a peace treaty, though one wonders how long it is before it'll be broken. Twelveswood was grievously wounded during the calamity, leaving Gridania vulnerable to attack. People are hopeful that restoring the wood, and thereby the power of their elementals, will put an end to their woes. How long will it take? Centuries, I'd wager. Meanwhile, the Ixals continue their incursions, spurred on by Garuda and her insatiable appetite for destruction. Whether the Gridanians like it or not, sooner or later it will come to an all-out war. And when it does, the Order of Tornado will need all the help it can muster. How valuable might the aid of a capable adventurer prove to them then? Well, perhaps we will find out if the Elder Seed series of words fall on fertile ground. Who knows? Kind of doubtful. Next, to Ul'dah. Alrighty. Next one. Whoa.
Behold, 'tis the Sultana Nanamo herself!
And Roban as well!
Hark you, souls of flame, drawn to the bosom of the desert, where the fire burns brightest and shall rage forevermore. Hurrah! Rauban! Where since antiquity, under the sage and judicious rule of the Ul dynasty, we have wrought sand into gold. Where by the grace and glory of Nalthal have our brave sons and daughters flourished and prospered. I speak of Ul'dah!
There we are again.
At the Flame General's back flies the Grand Company's standard. Note the sigil. The golden scales of order balance the jewel of prosperity with the flame of might.
So money and power.
Great and many are the gifts our nation has given the realm. In Eorzea's darkest hour, on the killing fields of Cartano, none spent more in blood and gold than we. Thus was the 7th Imperial Legion laid low.
No. By my memory, it was to the Warriors of Light, not you.
So that's how it happened. How soon history forgets.
Yet many left our gates, never to return. Let us pray for our absent brothers and sisters, that they might know happiness in the great beyond, as Thal's honored guests.
Guess Thal's the Lord of the Underworld.
If the fates were fair, the price we paid that day would have bought us victory. Alas, they are not. And now, but 5 years into this 7th Umbral era, the spirit of sacrifice which granted us our strength is all but dead. Look around you. What do you see? A people divided, downtrodden and enthralled. Where are the merciful alms of the rich? Where is the just steel of the righteous? I ask you, is this the great nation our brothers and sisters gave their lives to save? You who call this living, dishonor the name of the immortal flames. It is but a slow death. Our enemies surround us. The savage hordes of the Amalja wait beside our roads, strangling the lifelines of trade. Meanwhile, the Garleans make mock of our borders and despoil our land of its natural wealth. We stand on a precipice, yet we do not act. Whether trader or soldier, monetarist or royalist, all must recognize that a divided Ul'dah stands to fall. Victory and fortune walk hand in hand. Ye who seek glory and wealth, look not to what little you can snatch from your neighbor, but to the boundless wealth of the world beyond. Now is the time to unite. Now is the time to ride forth.
Oh, he is definitely the general.
In the name of the Sultana, I beseech you. Line not your own coffers, but those of the immortal flames. Seek not to prosper from Ul'dah, but to restore her to prosperity. As the realm prospers, so shall Ul'dah. As Ul'dah prospers, so shall her people.
Well, he knows how to speak.
Together we are one.
Your Grace.
Raoban?
What the She's a parrot!
People of Ul'dah, I, Nanimo, 17th in the line of Ul, address you. Much has been made of the wealth of Ul'dah. Yet those who measure that wealth in coins and carats are gravely deceived. For the true wealth of Ul'dah lies in the health, happiness, and hopes of her people. Beloved subjects, I bid you raise aloft the torch of Ul'dah, that her flames might serve as a beacon for all Eorzea to see.
Eorzea. Wow. That accent.
Long live Nanamo!
Wow.
Glory to the Sultana!
For victory and fortune, stride fearless into the inferno, for we are, by fire, reborn!
By fire reborn, oh lord. Hey, hey.
Forsooth!
The time is now!
I believe!
Fancy meeting you again.
God, that voice. Ugh. Ow, that voice hurt. The Uldahs have a long history of conflict with the Amalsha, beast tribe that worship the primal Ifrit. Judging by your look of these tastes, I take it you encountered them. The Uldahs do not shy from confrontation. If aught threatens their precious prosperity, they will seek to crush it. So they have dealt with Ifrit thus far, smothering his flames each time he is stoked to life. Yet he has one but several problems. Though they have been quiet these past 5 years, the Guardians have not gone away. Meanwhile, refugees continue to arrive in droves. Ul'dah has no clear policy on how to deal with them. After all, not even the Sultanate's coffers are bottomless, and even assuming they had the coin, resources will ever be finite. Which brings me back to the subject of Ifrit. It has been observed that the Amalsha are summoning him with ever-increasing frequency. Every time they do so, the Uldahs send their forces to smite the primal, and though they invariably succeed, each victory is bought with blood. It is a war of attrition which they cannot well sustain. Small wonder then that the Flames are eager to recruit more members. At such a desperate hour, an adventurer of your experience will be most welcome addition to their ranks. And his sister walks away. Waddle waddle, and she waddled away, waddle waddle, and she waddled away, waddle waddle, till the very next day, bum 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 ba da bum. Limsa Lominsa.